He's middle management of men, Wesley Fox. A tamer of building codes and fires, Alan Giannis. And he delivers for America, Andrew Murr. Together, they are the Middle Class Holes.
All right, so we're getting ready to record. Sarah comes back from an evening soccer game, co-ed soccer game that she plays out in Howard County. And she comes in, all of her stuff on. It's I got to get downstairs. Okay. And she just kind of gives me a kiss, says good luck. And then I get a Facebook messenger from her that says, "You left a mound of shit in the toilet."
Oh, well done,
sir. In a rush.
I feel like I know what that was. It's the double flush that I didn't do. That I always say, like, yeah, I'll take a peek at it. I'll make sure that it's done, and didn't do it.
Wait, hold on. Yours doesn't flush the first time? What kind of shit are you taking?
So it could be a combination of the velocity and volume, and it also could be, just our Baltimore City,
that
suction not being up to snuff. It has happened in the past. Some of it's, it could be fragmented, but yeah, that's my wife.
Well, no, wait. There's no blaming her on this. Yes, you make people aware when they leave shit in the toilet. It's like the one thing you're not supposed to do is like, okay, you pee and you forget, or maybe you pee and you're just like, that wasn't that bad. If it's not so yellow, I'll let it mellow. But like amount of shit is amount of shit.
I can't always be mindful of a second flush. I don't forget the first flush.
Okay, if this is a city issue, okay,
if this is a municipality thing, you need to call your mayor.
I very rarely do a double flush, like ultra rarely. I don't know what the protocol. Alan, is there a protocol for you for a double flush?
I only double flush, like courtesy flush, as I call it, in public spaces.
Bingo.
Like I don't do that shit in my bathroom. I shit and then I fucking flush it. And every now and then, I don't know. Maybe I space out. Maybe I'm fucking really stoned. And I forget. And then Kelly's like, "You dick," and I'm like, "Yep. Yeah, that's my bad. Sorry about that." But I don't have to. There's no double flush in a private bathroom.
Not at home, dude.
Yeah.
And by the way, and Sarah's not the asshole here. Like, you are to shame someone when they leave.
Yeah.
I'm not claiming Sarah's the asshole. I'm just pointing out that it was really funny that the timing of all this. I sit down to record with you guys. We're talking about, what do you guys want to do for an opening? Like, oh.
Okay. Okay, listen, I am just going to prepare you, should she listen to this, that you said, "That's my wife." Like, it was almost like, why did she choose to send me this message? And I'm saying she was correct in sending you a message. And what makes her less of an asshole, even further, is that she didn't storm into the room and be like, "Hey, you left a big pile of shit in the toilet." Is that she had the courtesy to just be like, "I'm going to leave you this fucking silent message so that you can see it and you can feel shame," which you won't because you're a dude and you like shit. So there's not
Let's correct the verbiage here. It was a mound, not a pile or remnants. And there might be lines drawn, if it was a couple speckles or remnants or droppings or just, little passerbys that just didn't get sucked down in the first flush. She may have let it go. But I think in this case, there was, I guess, a little bit to be offended by, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, the double flush thing, the only time you're supposed to double flush, by the way, this is protocol, is so if you have diarrhea, what happens is the shit doesn't break the surface of the water. Some of it floats on top of the water, which is where the smell comes from. Because if the shit breaks the surface of the water and stays under the surface of the water, there's no smell. It's encapsulated by the water. It's not until the shit breaches that the smell lingers. And so really that's the only time you should really be doing a double flush. And if you're double flushing all the time, you should either seek medical attention or you just learn the rules here. If I don't have diarrhea and I can smell it, I definitely don't double flush because I want to see what I have produced inside
Gotcha.
that toilet. Because there's been a couple times at work, and I've been eating really healthy the last few years, where I have left an intestine-long fucking log that has breached the water, and actually I heard no bloop because it didn't even fall into... It just fell against the porcelain, barely missing my taint on its way out the exit there. And I'm just like, wow, oh, man. I'm just
You should
proud.
bronze that thing.
Yeah.
You should-
No, and the last one like that I had that I flushed was so just filled with nutrients and awesomeness that it actually clogged. It wouldn't go through. It wouldn't break. It didn't snake its way through the pipe. It was, it was something to behold.
So
man.
I want to come back. I have a question for you to kind of circle back on what you just said. But I will say now that my mind's racing here, because I know when I did that, and that was hours prior to her showing up, because I also deposited one downstairs later on in the evening. So that thing had been festering for a hot minute, if you will. Now you're saying that unless the only thing that smells is outside of the water contains the stench.
Well, Alan's more of the scientist on the Middle Class Souls. I'll let him either confirm or deny my.
Give us this,
claims.
the Alan. You're our methane containment specialist.
It's true. It's true. I got certified over the winter break. So you see, it's the H2O molecules. No, so I guess he's kind of technically right. But eventually, it would like, if let's say it sat there for a week, it would just turn to poop water, and then it would stink anyway. But like, if you've got a fully submerged turd or pile of excrement, in scientific terms, fucking under the water. Yeah, it's not gonna stink because all of the shit all of the would-be stink is in the water, and it hasn't osmosed, I guess, or permeated the water. It hasn't turned this water into poop tea quite yet. Once it turns it into poop tea, give it a couple hours or like a day, it'll still stink. But yeah, you got yourself you got yourself a grace period. But if you got like a shallow bowl and you got a mound, as Sarah called it, just, protruding from the water like a Hawaiian island, then yeah, fucking.
I cannot guarantee if the mound was protruding from the water.
It sounds like
message.
it was.
I heard,
is all I'm saying.
I heard the flush, then I heard the shower go on, and I think that'll be the end of that discussion.
I didn't even see the text message, but I could feel the tone.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, fuck you, you're an asshole. I'll forget about this one later. No big deal. But I just needed to inform you of the dickholery that I just witnessed. Thank you and good night.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Fair enough. Marital bliss, bro. Marital bliss. And this reminds me. This is a good Foxy. God rest in peace story. His niece, Dylan's mom, Sandy, who's I think 7 or 8 years younger. So you have an uncle who's like 7 years older than you, growing up. So that's like the cool kind of older uncle. I think he was 18 or 19, and he demanded that someone, and she was the only one in the house, come up to the bathroom to witness the pageantry, the majesticness of what he just produced. And she reluctantly and begrudgingly went up to the bathroom, and she said it was 2 complete circles that went up to like a 6-inch kind of crest. Yeah. And my dad said he wanted it bronzed. He said, I want to pull this out. I want to salvage it. I want to maintain its structural integrity, and I want it bronzed because I think this might be up there amongst this is a Mount Rushmore poop.
Yeah. Dude, you get so few of them in life.
Can you imagine some 11-year-old niece like,
that's not even like, you can't even scoop that out. You got to build like an infrastructure around it and then lift it out. You're basically putting it in a box where it sits and then lifting that box out to keep it.
You're getting the guys from
100%.
the guys who were trying to get the gold from the island. What is that?
That Oak Island.
Treasure from Oak Island. You're getting that amount of ingenuity to
Well, I mean, I was
excavate
thinking
that.
maybe like that thing that they use at the Chinese food restaurant to like get like the egg rolls out, like that really like wide, like almost like a wok that looks like a whisk, and just kind of get on. But man, gentle. You got to gentle. You got to get under. And
Yeah, but I mean, then you're under the rules of gravity. Water has maintained and preserved this.
You're right.
Now, I don't know if there's an underwater bronzing, let alone in the early '60s.
There's got to be like a shellac, like something you pour into the water that then like fuses to like at least creating an outer shell or crust that stabilizes the structure.
I was gonna say you could probably give it a spray with something, some kind of varnish.
Yes.
Or and that'll allow
quick cast.
that'll allow you to transport it out until you get it to, said bronzing location.
Then you put it in the same thing that like orcas get transplanted from one aquarium to another.
Yes. It's just a tarp and two poles. It's just,
Constantly
all right.
moisturizing it, constantly
Fucking
maintaining it.
Forehand, just spritzing it, just misting it with a spray bottle.
Yeah.
Dude, there is it just goes to show you how lucky we are to make some of the finds. Like, look, I know I give archaeologists and astrophysicists a lot of shit for the stories they make up about things, but there's like a Viking turd. I don't know, Alan, I don't know if there's any way for you to find a picture of this. I want to say it's like, I don't want to...
The greatest turd of all time?
It's like an 8-pound turd. It's like huge. It's like it would rip my rectum apart if it came out of my body. And it's like the most well-preserved prehistoric shit of all time. And like we're talking about, like, how do you get this brand new turd, like, and save it to savor for like all of humanity? And then this Viking didn't... This is probably just Wednesday for him. Just take
he pooped into an iceberg, and then it preserved.
But then the surface area of the globe, and then somebody stumbles upon this ancient turd, and it's like, oh my god, would you look at this?
I like to think that the discoverer didn't know what it was. And then after a week's worth of, dissecting and specialists and experts and archaeologists looking at it like, oh, do you know what we have here? And that person said, no idea. Like, this is poop. This is poop, my man. Wait, what? One? A singular? Uh-huh.
But the thing, like with anything that's fossilized, what you have to realize is that over time, every molecule is mineralized and replaced.
Here you go.
Oh, you got it. Okay, I'll know.
Okay.
That's it. 100%.
Yeah, look at
Dude, that looks like a beef tongue that's fucking prepared and cooked in restaurants.
Does it say? Does it give any specs on the?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. But,
Specs. Does it give any specs?
Yeah,
It's got a drop-down menu.
It's got a Wikipedia page.
It was 8 inches long, 5 centimeters wide. I think my favorite part is actually the presence of several hundred parasitic eggs. Suggests this person was riddled with intestinal worms.
Ooh.
Does it have a weight? Because I got 8 was a number that I used, and it obviously was in the length. But I guess the weight won't matter because it's been remineralized and all that.
Yeah. Because it's basically just a rock.
This is where the archaeologists start making stuff up.
Yes, pretty much. Well, I sent you that. I don't know if you guys watched that thing I sent you. These assholes in Australia dug a hole in the sand, like one of those dumb fucking holes where a whole man can stand inside of it, and then of course the ocean waves filled and retracted, and then some dickbag fucking astrophysicist this is the greatest find. Maybe of a lifetime. Claiming it was a meteorite. News ran with it, and then 3 days later, a fucking TikTok video comes out of "Hey guys, look how far I'm down in this hole."
No turds in here.
No turds here.
Yeah. Is this actually good? Now I'm on a roll with personal stories. I was in middle school, and there were bomb threats at the high school and middle school simultaneously. So they weren't letting they weren't letting if you didn't ride the bus, if you walked or were picked up, you were basically you had to get picked up by a parent or someone. My parents, for one reason or another, could not make it, and I had to call Dewey, who was at high school, and he was like, "Wait, what?" And he didn't even know there was a bomb threat, which is to his aloofness. And Joe was like, "Oh, there's a bomb threat. There's a bomb threat at the high school." I was like, "Oh, I didn't hear about that."
Because I know who made the threat. That's what's hilarious about this.
And I was hanging out with a friend who was waiting for his parents to come, and I had a routine, which usually by the time I got home, I had to relieve myself, and I took like a 13-inch fucking banger, and then said, "I think that's the bomb. I think that's the bomb threat." And we damn near got a teacher to go into the restroom to verify it. I was like, I think I found the bomb. Mr. White, I think I found it. And he was like, "Wait, what? In the bathroom?" "Yeah, it's in the stall."
Yeah, assholes. Oh, that's good though.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We can't remember fucking pivotal moments in any of our lives, but when it comes to turds, man, we got fucking time, date.
Dude, we've been talking about poop for like the last fucking 40 minutes, half hour at least.
If the movie Defending My Life or Defending Your Life is a reality, and I'm in purgatory, and I have a lawyer on my side against a prosecutor who wants to send me to hell, that's gonna be on the big screen. Do you remember this, Mr. Fox, where you joked around about a bomb threat, then took a 15-inch turd, and then tried to get a science teacher to come verify it?
Yeah, well, that's when the voice of God jumps in and is just like,
Poop is hilarious.
That's right. That's right. The they're like, "Oh, yeah, it's funny. Yeah, that's good." Middle class was everyone. It wasn't a mound, by the way. I'll get you the measurements. I'll get you the specs to see if it classifies as a mound, quote unquote. I guess it's, Murr, you said it's probably like a hot minute. It's a sliding scale.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, like bottom line is it might have collapsed a little bit structurally. The integrity might have.
Or you need a little bit more fiber in your diet, bud. One of the two.
Could be.
Either way.
Could be. I had salmon tonight.
That's not fiber, but that's fine.
Well, I had other stuff. I had red potatoes and asparagus.
Yeah, you had other stuff.
There you go. There's the
mention.
asparagus.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, that asparagus pea is something. I think asparagus pea is a more foul smell than poop. I mean, we're on a sliding scale here, but most poop.
Asparagus makes everyone's urine smell, but there's a certain percentage of people that can't smell it.
Oh,
right. I think there's a.
True?
I don't even know if you would consider that a genetic defect. I think there's if you want to start doing, gene splicing down the road and make people just not smell asparagus pea, but there are people who can't smell it. Because there was a while where where people, I think, when they started tinkering with genetics, where they thought there was a certain percentage of the population where their pee didn't stink from asparagus, and then through testing, there was like, no, everyone's pee stinks because of asparagus. There's just some people who can't smell it.
So there was one asshole scientist who had the can't smell asparagus pea nose, and it was like, man, there's something up with this whole crew.
Yeah, and then they got a grant from the government to study, and years later they figured it out, I suppose.
Because it smells like rotting garbage to me. I don't know.
It does.
It smells like ass.
Yeah, it smells like cooked asparagus just got left out on the counter.
Yeah, and Brussels sprouts does it too. It's some kind of like acid, like stearic acid or some shit that gets mixed in there.
Brussels sprouts doesn't do it for me. It makes your pee stink?
Yeah, it has the same. Yeah, I think you have to eat more of them than like asparagus is like pure form. But yeah, I think Brussels sprouts will get you too. It might be the way they're prepared, but most people just saute or boil asparagus, and that just leaves it right on in there. But I don't want to like switch gears too hard because I know we got Friender Focon up here. But I do want to get this in before it gets too far down the rabbit hole. You mentioned mound. When I think mound, I think pyramid. Wes, what are your thoughts on the latest pyramid things? Have you seen the latest scans of the pyramids in Egypt?
No, what do they go? They go a lot further down than
Like 2 miles or
Yes.
some shit down, like pillars. Like Alan, you've seen this, right?
Yeah, I've heard about it. I haven't seen anything though. Can you see the scans?
Jesus,
Do they have them?
never mind. We'll just
Is it a
fucking-
mound?
Okay.
Is it,
Why?
Is it
Just
an
talk.
unflushed
Just
mound of
tell, well,
pyramid?
then tell us.
No, well, I mean, I can't remember the whole thing. I figured if we could all brainstorm it together, because I never send you anything personally, Alan. I personally sent you this video. No, apparently there's this new scanning technology that they use, and basically the Earth's always having some sort of seismic activity. So they use the scan, and they use the vibrations of the Earth to determine like cavities or if there's solid materials and things like that. And supposedly they found like, very uniform pillars that run underneath the pyramid, like I think it's the middle pyramid, and they go down like 2,000 kilometers or some shit.
wait, so do the expanding bricks continue to expand that far, or does it stop at quote unquote ground level and then
So basically-
something smaller?
What you see, right, is the
Yeah.
pyramid. And then under the pyramid, there are these giant pillars that then run like 2,000 kilometers down. Not maybe kilometers is the wrong
Yeah, that's a
measurement.
lot.
Yeah, but they're
Meters, okay.
2,000, yeah, probably 2,000 meters down, and they have like a spiral fucking staircase or some shit that fucking runs with them. And then at the bottom of that, there's 2 chambers that link up to these different pillars. And they're so far underground that they're like, okay, we couldn't figure out how they stacked bricks. So how did they do this? Like this, it's a whole new fucking wrinkle in like the mystery of the pyramids. Like the thing that we thought was amazing, stacking bricks high, was like, man, what did they use to do that? It's like now this one's like, if we can't figure out how they did that, how the fuck are we ever gonna figure out how they did this one? Because the underground work is like 10 times more elaborate than the above ground work, I guess.
So
is my point.
it's easier just to chalk it up to aliens.
Shut the fuck up. No, that's not where I was going with this.
I get it. I get it. I'm sorry. The low hanging fruit with you is aliens gave us the ingenuity on it. Because when you first explained it, I my mind just assumed that the pyramids just continue, length and width wise in that same structure all the way down. You're saying that doesn't happen. Maybe a little bit below, but not 2,000 meters below. Then you have these spires that go down where these tombs and or just, I don't know, cuck rooms link up via a duct unit or something. I don't know. They were very serious about preserving their dead.
Well, but I guess my thing is, and which obviously, if you here, I'm going to send you guys a I guess an artist's rendition of what they have found. Now, again, this is like the bullshit astrophysicists who get a fuzzy dot and off the James Webb telescope and are like, oh, look at this, and it's just completely made up. But this is essentially
what gets me about this is that the Sphinx, which is not adjacent but adjacent-ish to the pyramids, right?
It's there. It's in the Valley of the
In the
Kings.
vicinity, yeah. For years, it was just the face, and then they dug it.
Yes.
They kept digging out. When you started saying it, I was like, well, what did they not? Did they just get to a point where like, nope, this is ground level for the pyramids. There's
Right.
nothing beneath us.
That's well, and then there's a lot of. My thing is like I've really gotten into looking at like a lot of this new archaeology, because there's a lot of archaeologists that just won't fucking they will not give up on what has already been established as quote unquote truth and fact. It just feels to me like there might have been like a whole gaggle of like technologically advanced civilized people here before that aren't here now. And like
Could have
because
been killed.
that's the point. Like look at the picture I just sent to the chat. Like this is what they're, again, an artist's rendition based on these very early seismographic models that they've found. And if this is what's under there, like they need to dig this shit out, because this is like, this would tell a greater story of the history of human civilization than anything that's ever been written to point. Like
Looks like DNA. You know, looks like a double helix.
Well, there's a theory that goes that the pyramids were actually like almost like power stations of some kind. A lot of copper running through there. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
I
so
can tell with that.
And so, but what would they have used it for? How would they have harnessed it? Yada, yada, yada. Again, something worth taking a few ganders at. But let's have a further discussion. You guys go fucking get yourselves up to speed on what the hell's going on in the Valley.
All right, we have bigger and better archaeological things to get to. Middle class holes, everyone, Murr, Allen, and Foxman on tonight's Friend or Foe. And as I mentioned, bigger and better things that are rummaging through and about to change the landscape of humanity as we know it. Hooters is about to have a transplant or a face graft or titty reduction. Murr,
sounds
what
like
do you got?
They're calling it the re-Hooterization. Is what it's being dubbed. Your friend or foe, going to read a news story to you, see if you agree or disagree. So they're not calling it a comeback. They're calling it a re-Hooterization. That's the word that Neil Kiefer, CEO of HMC Hospitality Group, the parent company of the group of men who created the Hooters brand, is using to describe the planned PG-ification of the so-called restaurant. Get it? Restaurant, boobs, Hooters, tits. In February, it was reported that the 42-year-old restaurant chain was nearing bankruptcy. Kiefer is convinced that by putting the brand back into the hands of the men who originally founded the Clearwater, Florida-based brand, they can keep Hooters and its name alive and well with an image overhaul. Amazon's... sorry, that's an advertisement. I was just...
Amazon wants to sell you...
Amazon's Hottest Show just got more encouraging updates. Yeah, no, I just Ron Burgundy that. In an interview with Bloomberg, Kiefer, whose company still owns 22 Hooters restaurants, made it clear that he knows it's the breasts, not the wings, that draw the bulk of the eatery's customers nationwide. But that's not the case in Clearwater, where women and children often happily dine alongside their typically male clientele at Hooters. Quote, you go to some parts of the country and people say, oh, I could never go to Hooters. My wife would kill me. That's depressing to us. We want to change that. I'm going to wrap it right there on the news story, but agree or disagree, friend or foe, Hooters becoming PG. Friend, yeah, you got to save the company and that's the way to go. Or foe, no. We've gotten too PG with Hooters in the first place, which is probably why it's failing. So we should just lean into the Hooterification of the Hooters brand itself and go even further. Lean into the Hooters. Lean into the 1980s that made it a restaurant that established itself nationwide. Or, again, do you PG it up and go family friendly? Friend, yes. Foe, no. Alan, go.
Is there a neither option? Can it just
let it fail?
Can it just go away? I guess it's like, yeah, I don't want a whack PG version. And honestly, I was having this discussion with somebody else the other day. Like, what are we talking about here? Like wings? That was it. That was about it, right? The wings were half decent, maybe, like not even amazing. Like.
No, they're not amazing, but I would say they did the whole wing. They did the drum with the flat, which I always appreciated.
That's fair, but like other than that, is there any real besides that titties? Right, that's the only reason. That's just titties. So it's either titties or nothing, in my opinion. And like I don't know if we can do titties the way you need to do titties to make titties profitable. Without just being a strip club. So, yeah, like, just shut it down. Fuck it. There are other wing joints.
Oh, so wait. But see, you're going the neither route. Okay, we gotta. You guys never really grasped the essence of finger foul
No,
here.
I get the premise, but it's...
Well, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Okay, so if you were trying to save Hooters as a brand, Alan, would you go family-friendly, cover the girls up, take some of the tchotchke items off the wall, or would you lean into the classic, more chauvinist version of Hooters to try to save it? Which way would you go?
I mean, if I had to pick, if I was CEO, probably the regular old Hooters. Let's get the titties out. Let's bring. Even I'm losing money probably, but the wings are 50 cents now. Fucking, I'm going 80s Hooters if I'm trying to save the brand.
All right.
To
So
answer your question.
is for Alan.
Yeah.
We're saving the brand. We're going raunchy. Wes, what you got?
Okay, so reading into this article a little bit more, because I did read this from top to bottom. They talk about things like just doing away with bikini nights. That not doing away with the Hooters as we know it, but doing away with specific nights. And I didn't realize there was a bikini night or a cleavage T-shirt night, because I could have spun by, could have made a reservation. But they're not. It doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong. It doesn't appear as though they're doing away with the traditional sense of Hooters. They're just getting away from some of these gimmicky nights that enhance the Hooters to make it more PG. Now, where the family friendly thing sizzles in, I couldn't figure that puppy out. But if we're just going by your friend or foe. Yeah, I mean, your identity is Hooters. It's the owls, right? It's the it's a scantily clad. It's the leggings that give you the tan that you could never achieve or you always wanted. You're just too lazy to lay out for 20 minutes a day for 6 days a week, unless you lived in Palm Beach or Fort Lauderdale.
Had like a pale ass redhead with some Trump tan on the legs and some fucking leggings.
You wind up at a Hooters in Newcastle, Delaware. You might get someone that's a little fray of the skin, if you will, someone that could get windburned. I guess I'm friending it if the sense of the article, which is they're just trying to get away with a few things. But if we're going to this thing about like, okay, PG versus non-PG, Hooter gentrification. I don't even remember what the hell you called it. I do have to foe it, because to try to get the fact that like we want to make this family centric. I don't know. I went to a Hooters when I was 12 years old. All right, with my family, and that's because opening day in the mid 90s was rained out. And my parents were like, all right, we got to eat somewhere. And they're like, let's eat at Hooters. And me and Dewey were like, oh, no, that sounds terrible. Holy shit, I can't believe this is going to happen.
Right.
So I mean, there's some family aspects to it. Take a 12-year-old boy there. Figure out.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. I remember being so embarrassed because my dad is who my dad is. And like, yeah, it was a Little League thing. It was like Little League Day at the ballpark. And, of course, like, our coach was some fucking horn dog. He was like, let's go eat our Hooters. My dad was like, well, I don't think it's appropriate. And it's like, well, that's where we're eating. So it's like, if you want to stay with the crowd, you had to go to Hooters. And that was the first time I'd ever been to a Hooters. And I was embarrassed because I was that age and my dad's my dad. And that wasn't, but I realized why Hooters was successful in its heyday. They have been... Ever since, we'll just call it the woke era began, Hooters has been in the crosshairs. You guys don't hire men for waiters? No, that's not our brand. This
isn't called Wiener. This isn't called Wieners.
Right.
Okay. There might be some subsections of the United States where that might be wildly popular. The Dewey Beaches and certain areas of New York City and
Atlanta, like that's not a bad idea actually. Like and make a dachshund like the brand logo.
I always wanted to do that, and it was just like a variety of hot dogs, like various sausages. Fucking Polish sausages, chorizos. Things of that nature.
Corn dogs, yeah.
I've had this idea for years. I love. So
you're not the only one. There's another fraternity brother of ours who came up with it, and we were drunkenly joking around saying that at all men's urinals there should be a small 5-inch digital screen that just has Meat Spin playing the entire time while you're taking a piss.
Yes, 100%.
My point on Hooters is their downfall began when like woke culture started to raise its head, and they were trying to I don't know, abide. They were trying to be the dude, and the dude was trying to abide. And it's like, no, man. When McDonald's started selling salads, Burger King put 3 extra patties, 2 extra slices of cheese, and a fistful of bacon on their burgers. They developed brand new sides. They started drizzling cheese on tater tots. They're like, no. We're going to lean the other way. So in this era, the era of Trump, you now have the opportunity to lean into what you once were, and there will be an entire population of people who will gravitate towards it. Start making it show your ID at the door. 18 plus. Put the stores in location. Don't put them in Newcastle, Delaware. No. Put them in fucking like places where fucking truckers readily go through town. Hire women, base it on looks. Sorry, you're a 6. You can't be a waitress at Hooters. Discriminate. They started letting average ladies wear the leggings, and that's where they went wrong. You got to lean hard into what you once were. I am a chauvinist pig of a restaurant. The women will make lots of money. Do not apply if you don't want to be seen as eye candy. And don't come here if you're offended by the sexualization of human beings. Because that's who we are. That's what we do. We sell mediocre wings at a premium price. Fuck off or fuck you.
And do come here if you feel the opposite way. I guess
But only in the bathroom.
Are you guys familiar? Is it Tilted Kilt?
Not sure.
Yeah. I know
Tilted
what you're
Kilt
talking about.
is a smaller chain. Where it's I don't even know if it's Irish based. It's basically the same marketing scheme as Hooters, but they do small kilts with unbuttoned white blouses with their tits hanging out. There was one in White Marsh for a long time. I don't know. And I also don't know if this is nationwide or regional or semi-regional. I know there are a few. And they pandered. They want a much larger restaurant. The 2 that I knew of were at least like 3 times as big as any Hooters that I ever knew. Now, I don't know Hooters in fucking Houston or Minneapolis or Chicago. Those things might be fucking ballrooms. But the big ones that I've been to, the Tilted Kilts are a little bit larger, with, again, the same type of thing. No one ever claimed that they needed to PG it down. Maybe just because they were dying.
Well, it's because like the menu at McDonald's got scrutinized because they're McDonald's. They're the face of their franchise is the face of fast food. Nobody cares about the rest of them because McDonald's doubles everybody's business. As far as the sexualization restaurants are concerned, Hooters top of the list, man. They were the king dog of that bullshit. Like the Porky's 80s of restaurants. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
That's what Hooters was. Yeah. That was a bunch of dudes sitting around the Outer Banks, probably with a pizza at a seafood restaurant, saying, hey, how can we get rich off of chicken wings? I don't know. We'll just put chicks in skimpy fucking outfits. Boom. $1 billion idea.
Yeah.
And now it's failed because people got fucking prissy.
We'll print the same owls and then we'll put the city underneath. And $20 a t-shirt. And people will buy them. I bought one. I think I bought 2, maybe 3.
It's Americana, dude. Like it just is. And I think the thing is like, and this has kind of been the game plan of everybody who survived cancel culture is like, don't apologize. It doesn't work. They don't accept the apology. Hooters just needs to not apologize for what Hooters is and just be what Hooters was always supposed to be. And I think they'll do just fine.
Do you think the CEOs are getting it wrong? Do you think the marketing
100%.
brainchild behind Hooters is making a grave mistake and trying to alter their marketing campaign?
I think you have to go by eras that you are in. And right now, we are in an era where you say, fuck you to your detractors and just appeal to the people who you were going to appeal to anyway. The people who complain about Hooters don't go to Hooters.
You're faithful, which is men.
But here, so like I know we brought up Tilted Kilt, which is like I think it is national, but it's a little smaller. But I was just searching because I knew there was one that was a double entendre like Hooters about boobs, and it's called Twin Peaks. and there's like 70 locations across the country.
How the hell they got away? They got away with buying out the royalties for that sitcom?
right.
Is it just maybe that Hooters is just a shitty product? Like
That's fair too.
like Twin Peaks. I think Twin Peaks figured it out. You know what I mean? Like that. Hold on, let me.
Or Alan,
Did the novelty of Hooters and their shitty fucking food wear off? And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like restaurants are like a short term game anyway, right? Like eventually the gimmick wears off. Like,
but wait, hold on. No, but I disagree with you because the gimmick of Hooters was then brought about by another corporation who didn't get scrutinized or who didn't change their business model based on public opinion, and they're thriving. Whereas I feel like my point, Alan, is that Hooters has caved to all the social pressures over the years, and they're failing when they could have just revamped themselves.
I guess what did Hooters do? Like did Hooters?
The outfits got less skimpy.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they started hiring people who were what I would call less the Hooters brand, if you will. Like, look, we had to do a bunch of events down in Ocean City, and let's just say
that's Twin Peaks. Yeah. See, so like I think that's just a cooler gimmick. Like that looks cooler, the food looks better. Like I think maybe Hooters is just whack.
Food looks better. You're right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think
those are fresh red onions.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I think it's just better. Maybe Hooters.
Sure.
Like I get it. Hooters was the first. They were kind of the innovator. But their whole gimmick's just kind of whack. I always kind of thought it was whack anyway. Like, well, it was kind of boring. Like I get it, but
a couple of things that happened that I'm fully aware of. The uniform, it went from cleavage to neck length. The booty shorts had to cover the crease of the ass. So there's just things like that they caved to and made accommodations for. They used to scrutinize these women like, oh, what's your, like, almost getting out that old 1980s BMI fucking like caliper. Like, let me check your, nope, sorry, lady. You're a fry cook now. You ain't waiting tables. They got away from that. Yeah, look, bottom line is, I think Hooters being at the forefront of what that restaurant is was their downfall because they apologized and because Alan, like any restaurant innovates, right? Like if McDonald's was the same fucking restaurant that it was in the 1950s, it wouldn't exist right now. But instead now you go in there, they've got iPad screens as taller than me, 8-foot iPads where you can fucking order without talking to a mouth-breathing human. Like they innovated along the way and stay relevant. Whereas Hooters went the other direction and they devolved from what their original business plan was, and that's why they fail. Gotta stay true to your vision or you're not gonna fucking thrive. And this will be the death nail for Hooters, in my opinion.
I mean, I think it's already dead.
I
just think it's not good. I was just reading some stuff like you can still fucking wear the regular uniform. You just have the option now. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, if these hoes don't want to hoe, then of course they don't get the money. You know? Like, I think that's just fair. That's capitalism, isn't it, in this regard? Like, if the hoes ain't hoeing, what we pay for the wings ain't that good.
Let's be honest too. Like, well, once the ladies started whining about like sexual harassment, look, I'm not saying that you should ever be put in a situation that is uncomfortable to you, but there are certain women who are comfortable with things. It's like CIA operatives. Like, well, they're very comfortable with that. Like you hire women that are comfortable with fucking trucker dudes, maybe pinching a cheek every now and again. That's gonna fucking help the brand, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that if you start hiring girls that are 18 and have self-esteem, I'm just saying that business model's not going to work for you.
I guess the question is, like, is it that they're not hiring them or is it that they don't exist anymore? Like
That's
you get what you get what I'm saying? Like
Be honest.
that's probably more it than anything. It's not like they're like, well, this girl has morals. We don't want that one. Let's get that.
I
out of
would
here.
say
Like,
with the
but
success
they
of
have
only-
a bunch of like fucking morally ambiguous women beating down their door, be like, I'm trying to serve wings and booty shorts. God damn it, hire me. Like, I think there's a shortage. Is what is really the
I would
issue
say
here.
the success of OnlyFans, like kind of like flies in the face of. there
Yeah,
are
you you make way more fucking with like all the boys you went to high school with wanting to see your boob job than fucking slinging fucking wings at a Hooters. Like, let's
Yeah,
be
but
real.
if you can make it.
You also
At a Hooters or on
we hit
OnlyFans?
on-
OnlyFans.
we hit on this earlier. You probably outdid yourself when you started doing all these satellite restaurants, the Towson, Maryland's, and the Newcastle, Delaware's, and the such as the outskirts.
That's also true. That's like Green Turtles. Like Green Turtles grew real big, and then you were like, okay, man, what's with the Green Turtle in fucking Hagerstown? Like, I'm good. I don't want to go to that. I don't really want to stop at that location.
Here's a fun fact for you. There is only one original Green Turtle, and that is
Ocean City, Maryland.
Ocean City.
18th, I think it's 18th Street in Ocean City. Like that's it.
No.
All the other
124th.
I don't know if that because it's nope. There is a Green Turtle on 124th Street, but the original one which is the actual Green Turtle. It's been a while because we did events for these people all the time. I think I can remember the guy's name. I won't say it though. He had a partner. The guy who owns the original Green Turtle did not want a franchise. The partner did. They split. The franchising goes to the other guy, and he got a little loose with what he was willing to serve in the restaurants, where the original guy was like, no, this is the Green Turtle. So yeah, it's an odd situation. But yeah,
116th Street.
No,
is that the original?
Yeah, the original.
I didn't realize
The
it was that
upstairs
far
smells
down.
like pee. Yeah, I've been there.
Well, I'd like the upstairs. That's where you go, and most people don't know it's there because it feels like you're
It's
getting
like
ready
an
to go behind the bar.
A-frame.
Yeah, it feels like you're getting ready to go behind the bar. That's where I went, and some giant man, probably about 6'6", recognized me from the radio and proceeded to pick me up and toss me in the air like I was a fucking rag doll. And I was screaming, I am a full-grown man. Stop it.
It's like an 8-foot ceiling too.
Yeah, and
It's,
he put me down and said, oh, sorry. Like, yeah, dude, like, I'm an adult man. Like, I get that you're happy to see me, but don't throw me around like a bitch.
I went down to a job fair in the where did the Capitals and Wizards play now? It used to be the MCI Center. Now it's
Capital One Arena, I think. Still, is it
I
Capital
think
One?
it might be Capital One. And I went down there my senior year of high school for a job fair. I drove down with two guys in the same department I was in, MassCom, and it was like, hey, there's going to be all these NBC, ABC, Fox, you name it, affiliates. This is it's a feeding frenzy. Go down there with some resumes. It was $20, and you got a free ticket to the basketball game that night, which we didn't plan on staying, but it's kind of nice to know. Went down there, and I'm telling you, there was not anything remotely resembling a lead for a job. I went to the only thing that was close was one of which was like, "Hey, are you bilingual?" Like, see, and he's like, "Nah, get the fuck out of here." Another one was like, "You need like a couple years experience." I walked out of there so deflated, and a voucher bought my $20 face value ticket for $5, as well as the two other guys that we were with, and we walked away just kind of like, "Fuck!" Like, we're graduating in 3 months. What the hell's gonna happen? We walked to a Hooters, took that $5, and bought a beer. I felt good. I felt okay after that.
There you go.
I felt a little bit better about life. So now I got to drive from DC to Frostburg, but all right. Damn. 5 minutes ago, I felt like I was sinking in quicksand. Now I feel like I'm motorboating 6.
I will say, I didn't eat at Hooters that often. The last, like, one of the final times I had gone to Hooters, I finally got the wings. And I was like, huh, these are pretty good.
Yeah.
Mango habanero.
I went to a Hooters while I was on jury duty, too, for lunch break.
There you go. It's all right,
Yeah.
man. Look, it's a piece of
They
Americana.
tell you not to drink. I had 2 32-ounces, regardless.
You had 64
Nice.
ounces of beer.
15 minutes as well.
That's awesome. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Okay, so friend, PG, foe, rated R. Where does everybody finally fall? Alan, how would you save the business?
I think, I mean, titties is probably going to work better than the alternative. But
Wes?
I think it's dying anyway.
Refurbish titties. Don't refurbish them in the fact that they don't exist or it's not part of your platform anymore. Get a little bit more craftier. Get guys like me and Murr into the war room with some whiteboards that can draw titties. Very oblong, uneven titties, and we'll pitch you flow cakes. But if you don't buy on that, I think we got better ideas in mind. I just think this is a cop out.
Yeah. Look, man, I lean into your brand. Listen, honestly, too, I would even pitch a beaded curtain. There's a special. There's a. You got. You know what
The
you
old
call
VHS days. All right.
Well, look, bottom. You even call it this. You have a smoking section and a non-smoking section. Okay. Maybe a little more risque beyond the beaded curtain. Normal here. Lean into the brand that begat you and got you to where you are today. With a CEO, by the way. Because, back in the day, there ain't no fucking CEO. There was fucking, like, 2 guys named Chuck. Chuck 1 and Chuck 2. They're like, put some titties out there. All right, sell some wings. All right, cool. Like, do that. So, the foes have it. Lean into your brand. Be the brand. Own the brand. Make your comeback. Or don't. And that's your friend or foe.
Today, before you go, we lean into more poop stories. This comes out of Evansville, Indiana. Don't know. Have you guys ever been to Evansville?
I can't say that I have.
No, but
Don't say
are we
that you
are we
have.
not doing Fun Fact Friday? Because I'm going to feel...
Oh, shit. You know
Jesus
what?
Christ.
Today, before you go, we do Fun Fact Friday first. My apologies. Time.
All right, we'll make it quick. All right, I'll skip a couple. We'll do 3 facts. Okay, we'll wrap it up. Quick here. Let's get to your Fun Fact Friday. Your Ripley's Believe It or Not. Time. Word. 2. Brought to you, of course, by our good friend the Cuckster. You can find the Cuckster on both Instagram and TikTok. Cuckster for life. Cuckster for life on Instagram and the Tickety Talk. Here you go. 5, maybe 3 fun facts for you on a Friday. Did you know when the first World Series took place, Russia still had a czar? 1903.
That's the first modern World Series. I was going to say 1903. Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Who won the first World Series, Wes?
Oh,
I feel like you should know this.
I want to say it was the Pirates. I think the Pittsburgh Pirates won. Let me.
Wow.
Alan, if you're not going to dial this one
go
off,
for it. Sorry.
I will. I think, let's see here. It used to be best of 8. Actually, no. The Boston Americans defeated the Pittsburgh Pirates 5-3. It used to be best of 8.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Best of 8?
Yeah.
They didn't think about ties back in 1903?
They did not. We evolved, and actually, some of those stadiums, like the first handful of World Series, and obviously, the regular season, and well, they didn't have postseason play. Either you won the division or not, and you went to the World Series. Some of those stadiums didn't have an outfield fence; they just had a string, and if it went under, it was a ground rule triple. But if it bounced over, it was a double. But if it rolled under, ground rule triple.
Wow, that's
The old Boston Americans. They were the Boston Americans, and they were the Boston Beaters, and then the Boston Red Sox. Actually, no,
Wow.
Boston Americans, Boston Beaters, Boston Red Stockings, then Boston Reds Sox. Yeah.
Now, I don't know who won the first Stanley Cup, but I have held Lord Stanley's Cup, and I made sure to look into the top of the Stanley Cup, where the inaugural championship names are written. I don't know who won. I don't know who the other team was, but the Whalers were one of the teams.
It's Hartford.
Hartford Whalers.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a cool fucking thing. That's it. That to me, of all the sports trophies out there, I do feel like Stanley Cup is number one. Just because it's been passed down.
It is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Because it's got the original on top, and it's got the tiers that keep getting added to it. It's handed off. You don't get to keep it. You know, like it's borrowed, and defend it or lose it. Like it's fucking cool. Because everybody has a Lombardi trophy if they've won one sitting in their fucking stadium somewhere. Replica. There's only one Stanley Cup, and you get to fucking cherish it while you have it, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Here's another good fun fact about World Series. So obviously all these games back then were played during the day. Then sometime around like the 30s, 40s, 50s, you get a few here and there. Do you guys know when the last day game of the World Series was played?
Holy shit, no.
Nah.
Had to be before television.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Give me a decade.
Before then.
A decade? I'll say the 1970s, since you said it's been around during television era.
Alan?
It's probably going to be something fucking stupid like the 90s or the 80s. Like something mad.
It was the
recent.
1980s. It was 1987, but it was in the Metrodome.
See?
So you couldn't tell whether or not it was dark or not.
That fucking lame. Everything they do is everything. Baseball just has dumb decisions. I don't mind.
Do you think there should be a day game World Series?
I think there should be a Sunday day game. Yeah, I think maybe not like 100% day, but like a 3:00 start, maybe 4:00.
Yeah.
Sun, turn the lights on when it gets late.
They only do that when it's that's like not even anymore. It's like West Coast time, but they don't do that anymore. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I would vouch for at least two, and one of them in the middle of the week.
Like, okay, you know what? And how about this then? Base it on who makes it into the World Series. Like, if the Dodgers make it again, then with West Coast time, be like, look, we're not gonna fucking start the game at like 10 p.m. East Coast. We're gonna fucking
1 Pacific, 4 West or 4 East. Yeah.
Maybe you could do it a little later. You could make it still a night game for then, or start like 4:00 start. 5:00 maybe, but do it on like a weekend. Do it on a Saturday or Sunday so people can be home to watch it. And but then if it's on the East Coast, no, don't do a day game on the East Coast. That's kind of fucked up because I don't think anybody on the West Coast wants to get up at 10 a.m. to watch a baseball game.
Yeah,
I don't think I could watch a baseball game at 10 a.m. Like 1 p.m. Even 1 p.m. is like stretching it for me. I'm like, I don't know, it's a little early. But like a 3:00, 4:00 start, that's perfect. But yeah, there should. Because you're right, like in the modern era, there hasn't any World Series clip you watch is going to have the backdrop of darkness.
Yeah, I would 100. If I was on the committee, God knows what that committee is. I'd be like, yeah, me,
Me,
daytime, baby.
Let's get it. Did you know people were playing hopscotch when America was still a British colony? Oh. People were jumping on a leg. Shocking. Let's move on. Did you know Harley Davidson motorcycles were founded the same year as the first Tour de France, 1903?
Harley. Damn, those bikes must have been badass. Do you think anyone still has like a 1903?
No. Oh, I'm sure somebody's got one.
Yeah, there's probably one somewhere.
Hey, it's a better question. Do you think someone has some like an American Pickers just fucking catacomb in Iowa? These fuckers just have to crawl through like mounds of shit to be like, holy oh my god, that's Gen 1.
You know what's wild about what you just said is I think about like American Pickers, and then also on TLC it's like Hoarders. If it wasn't for hoarders, American pickers wouldn't have anything to pick through of value. Because why would you have a 120-something-year-old piece of machinery laying around if you weren't clinically insane?
Holy shit! It's basically just a bicycle.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Some
just
guy
rev
who
the
would-
thing. You rev it up and you make sound effects with your mouth. Brrr. Look at that.
Look at that.
Wow. That
Dude,
is
you know-
actually pretty beautiful.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
kind of cool.
And what's crazy is we've actually devolved into that because all like I see these electric bikes zipping around town all the time now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's what that is.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
at a
pretty
house.
much.
I was at a house party when I was in high school, and the guy who was throwing the house party was super passive aggressive. Was just like, I don't know if I should be doing this, and obviously no one there gives a shit. And then his parents' prized Harley Davidson entertainment stand got broken. It was like the Harley Davidson engravement, and he drove like 3 hours to a Harley Davidson store in Pennsylvania and bought a new one. And the exact replica. Called ahead, went and got it, brought it back, dumped his life savings into it at that point
Wow.
at 17, and then his parents never found out.
That's
It's crazy.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, I told that guy many times after that party. I was like, wow, Jesus Christ, where'd you drive to again? I do something like around Allentown.
You think you could have taken off a collection, considering, but good on him.
Yeah. You didn't consider like just super gluing it back together? It's like, Wes, it was in 300 fucking bits. No.
And finally, did you know cell phone maker Nokia was originally founded the year before the Civil War ended? So what was that?
Damn.
1864?
64? What the hell were they making?
Right? I have no idea. This book does not tell me dick about what Nokia was doing. It's
Yeah.
like Nintendo is like the oldest entertainment company, and they were making like playing cards or something before they got into the electronic video game business.
I'm sure, off the cusp, a name like Nokia really just rang true to the Protestant crowd of the Americas at the time. Ooh, Nokia? What do you got?
I'm sure they were still Japanese.
They were.
Hold on. I was about to say the railroad builders.
They were a paper mill.
Paper mill.
No
Yep.
shit.
You know what, though?
Single paper mill.
Oddly
they
enough,
started
it's
as.
still technically in the communications business, if you think about it. Like, I mean, it's a weird
Evolving.
leap.
Leaning
Yeah.
into it, man.
Yeah, leaning into it. Do what you do. What do? We communicate.
Through translators.
Yeah, paper to fucking satellites. I mean, it's an easy fucking leap, right? and that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
All right. Without further ado, tonight on Before You Go on the Middle Class Holes. This is actually, and I forgot to say this is your Middle Class Holes Badass of the Month. This takes place out of Evansville, Indiana. The title reads, Plumber returns to reclogged pipe after restaurant refuses to pay bill. So, Thai Bistro Bar and Operations Manager Jesse Sanders basically explained that the kitchen grease trap started to overflow. They called Herving, Hearvin plumbing company to come and fix the block. He did. They didn't pay him. And 2 days later, old Mr. Herving came in and just put it in there. He actually put a balloon in there. He didn't reclog it with slum or much or more poop, a mound of poop. He just put it with the balloon there. The first bill was $235. The second was $390. The owner said he refused to pay. It's not about money. It's just about him standing behind his work. And then old Mr. Herving actually just said, nah, fuck that. You don't pay your bill. This is what I do. Local police got called. It got resolved out of court. They paid the bill. But your thoughts on old Mr. Herving, our Middle Class was Badass of the Month, saying, kiss my ass. This is how I do business. You know, this isn't the air conditioning or the HVAC business. I'm in the plumbing business. I could fuck you, really. And actually, if you go back and read this article, and I'll post it on the Middle Classical's Facebook page, the restaurant owner said I would have been fucked. It would have backed up over the weekend. That's our big money maker, and he put us between a rock and a mound place.
Yeah, Alan, what do you got?
It's just good salesmanship.
Between the plumber.
Yeah, man. He just I found a pain point.
Well,
This is his first. His first pudeo.
Yeah. Yes. Correct.
well, I mean, what's okay in an instance like this, in a situation like this, like with the work that you're doing? I mean, you're kind of saving a business. And if they don't pay you, like, what's the you know what I mean? Like, what is the recourse? Like, you got to fight in court just to get your fucking to get your money. I guess my point is like it's one of those rare instances where if I know how to use a plunger and you don't, I can charge you whatever I want for that plunger usage.
The business owner says they were unjustly double charged, which is why they didn't pay the second bill. The plumber says the unjust is up to my discretion. Fuck you. I'm dropping the fucking balloon down in your sink.
Oh, well, no. I mean, I would say that see that's where I disagree because they wouldn't have gotten double charged if they had just paid the first fucking bill. So he went out and fucking clogged and then charged them for fucking unclogging the second time. Because honestly, the fact that he put a balloon in there is like him saying, like, you think this is so simple, what I perform, the task, the service I provide, you think it's so simple that you don't owe me for what I did to save your business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the work that I did with a very simple to solve fucking problem. And now when you don't solve it, I'm going to come out and resolve it yet again and charge you again until you fucking resolve.
And then this quote from Mr. Herving from Herving Plumbing or whatever actually might answer some of your questions. I don't have a magic wand that I can wave and remove all garbage and debris in the drain line. We can do this. We can snake it. We can make sure that that it's open and working correctly, which is what we did.
Yeah. So if you can do that and think my job's so simple, you do that and don't call me. But if you call me, you pay. And it's not fair to the guy, the plumber, because it's like, oh, look, everything's working fine. Hey, well, that wasn't that hard, right? So no harm, no foul. It's kind of like when people used to try to get me to record things for them for free. It's like, well, if recording things is so easy, why don't you just do it?
Right. But I mean, you weren't sabotaging people's, secondary or like at least holding hostage or, for lack of a better term, jamming a balloon in their MP4 files.
But what's his recourse otherwise is my point. Like,
I mean,
you're right. I guess you get to use your business. I guess I'm not that important. I'll just wait for my money in court.
This seems a little vigilante to me.
But doesn't it seem vigilante not to pay the bill?
100%. But you could like.
So what's your recourse? Then you have to. So basically, I guess my point would be is if the restaurant gets away with this, then anybody who has a plumber come in just says like, hey, everything's working. Cool. Thanks. Were you going to pay me? No, everything's working.
Right.
It just feels like craftsmen like this will get taken advantage of if they don't prove their point.
Maybe I'm thinking about this wrong, and Alan, you can correct me. Like the recourse would be legal intervention. Not I'm going to fuck up I'm not going to hold your plumbing system hostage until you pay me. And then the law said they couldn't do anything about it.
So, I mean, but in his defense, and depending on how successful of a plumber you are, like, oh, so my kids just won't eat for 6 months until I go to court every time I do a job.
Right.
Well, I gave you immediate relief, and you're going to make me fight for my money. So I'm just going to immediately fuck you until you pay me.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably get in more trouble for fucking re-fucking up the system. Because, like, I mean, I'm in a service world, right? And, like, people will try not to pay us, and then we, like, our shit's fire alarm, so we don't really have much legal recourse. We can't just shut your shit off. Like, that's illegal. But, like, you can definitely sue people. You can definitely get, like, you can eventually get them, like, kick their shit off, like, turn their services off, but you can't do it immediately because it's life safety. You know what I mean? But there are ways. I mean, then you can fuck them just by not doing the work, right?
Yeah. In my court, I mean, we have a contract, and you, like, you bind by the contract. You do the work, you have to get paid, and then whatnot. I've never been to a situation where I never put a balloon in someone's wireless system or turned off their wireless system.
Yeah. And
maybe
usually, like, your work ticket, like, if it's a time and materials work ticket, your work ticket usually has terms and conditions on it. Your little our car quotes have terms and conditions on, all that kind of shit. So there's usually shit in there, but depends on how big of a dick you want to be and how big or small of a company you are, right?
It's a good point.
How
much resources you have.
Big conglomerate will bleed you dry. Little mom and pop will be like, fuck it, we're just never doing business with you. Or if you call us, we're your cash on delivery, motherfucker, pay up.
I wonder if that's, again, like the fuck you pay up is, I'm gonna, which maybe I'm also equally fascinated by the fact of putting a balloon in the system. Works. This is like the old banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what I'm fascinated by is like something that his recourse was something very simplistic, and it wasn't going to damage the line. Eventually, that balloon's going to deflate or pop or something along those lines.
It had to do with how many times the toilets were flushed.
Right.
How many mounds were left in the.
My point is that he gave that business the immediate ability to operate and make money, where his immediate ability to make money was already performed. And they said, well, we don't think you charged us fairly. And he was like, oh, you don't? Well, check this out.
Yeah.
And because they had the luxury of saying, well, we'll pay you in court. And he doesn't I don't know his situation. He may not have the luxury to wait till court. So he's like, all right, well, fine. If you're not going to pay me for unclogging the line, then I will accept $0 for reclogging your line. So you get what you pay for.
If you go back and read through this article, this guy was pretty candid about why he didn't say I didn't do that. He says, "Yep, I did that."
Yeah.
He does not exclude details as to why he did it. He says, I put that in there, and here's why." It's just like, maybe I'm also baffled by the fact that this guy's candid about, yep, I put a balloon down there. Fuck you.
Well, the thing is now he's going to have to go to court so that they can dispute the double charge, which he'll probably gladly take the second charge off when they go to court, but he guarantees that he gets paid for the first operation.
$250 and $390. Yeah. Don't fuck over.
And by the way, what cocksuckers don't pay $250? You'll make that back in 15, 20 fucking minutes if you're a legitimate business.
I tell you who, Thai restaurants in Evansville, Indiana. That's who.
And if you're anything like JJ Foes and Elton, that might take you 3 days to make. Every time I go in there, there's a cigarette burning at the altar of whatever god they pray to, and there's a guy sitting behind the counter flipping through Facebook.
Yeah, we lead into burning Americonda, Indiana white person's buttholes into the fact that they, like, after they eat our food, they have to pay. They had to take a dump, and we stand by that. When you're done our food, when you're done our main course, look out, folks. Alan, tell all the people who fuck over plumbers in Evansville, Indiana, where you can find the little classels.
We're on Angie's List. You can find us We're 4 stars, I believe, on there. But if you can't spot us on there, all your favorite social media platforms at MDL Class Souls, Instagram and Twitter. The Middle Class Souls on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and fucking all that good shit. And for your listening pleasures, please check us out: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I think I forgot that last time, but
Fine, good shit.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think I'm about to.
A little forced. I understand. It's all right. A little
Apologies. Actually, this week in Middle Class Souls history, we're going to leave you with a bit from 4 years ago, April 21, 2020, where the boys discuss, 11 minutes and 54 seconds about puking at bars and parties. If you put down those philosophy books, stop reading about why the pyramids have chambers beneath them. This right here is going to rattle your brain.
Yeah, we're leaning into the brand.
Yeah, we will see you all next week. Sayonara. Nothing that really comes to mind, but give us a story about puking at a bar or a party.
Puking at a bar or a party.
Now Andrew has a good one. I know this. I first heard this when I was about 16 or 17. So I feel like that by the time he's done, something will have stirred in your memory, stirred your drink or your.
I've got a couple, but go ahead. I'll listen.
Oh man, why? Okay, when this does come back to wrestling, in a way. So when I was like 19 years old, we had these parties at this my first ever apartment, and for whatever reason, I was the scapegoat for just verbal beat downs and just people. And the last thing I needed in my life was to be caught puking at a party. And they also tried to get me wildly drunk because for my size, a whopping 5'6", 135 pounds, I could put down a fair amount of alcohol. Yeah. So they had a beer bong, and they decided they were going to, I was going to do a beer and 3 shots of vodka. So at the last second, I was able to just throw the vodka in the sink and then fill them up with water. So, obviously looked like vodka. So I downed this beer with 3 shots of water just because I knew that my liver was going to explode in the living room if I had tried to take that amount of punishment. Anyway, I got it down, and all of a sudden, just the gut just started rumbling, and I knew that it was lights out, and there was somebody in the bathroom. And I'm sitting there doing what you do, choking it back, sucking it down, like swallowing air. And the more air I swallowed, the less likely I was to puke, but my gut was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And on the wall, we had this giant picture of Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was almost like the Cal Ripken, like, drink your milk, get this tall. Yeah. But we had Steve Austin on the wall instead.
Nice.
And there's probably 30 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. And out of nowhere, I can't hold it anymore. And I turned to Steve Austin and just projectile vomit from about 3 feet away, square in his chest. And I instantly go into panic mode. But as soon as I turn my head left and I turn my head right, no one is looking at me. I've gotten away with it. As soon as the bathroom door opens, I get in there, I lock the door, I wash my face off, I come out, re-enter the party, and my roommate at the time is like, "Who the fuck threw up on Steve Austin? Who fucked up Stone Cold?" And I'm just sitting there. I don't know. That girl was in the bathroom for like 30 minutes, though. Instantly shames this chick. I get away with it. And all I had to do was pick up some McDonald's chicken nuggets off the floor. And that was my my penance for the entire thing. Got away with this. Didn't tell the story for about 10 years until maybe I told Wes and his brother in the basement. But beyond that, 10 years, never told the story to anybody else at that party. Only because even to this day, I feel like I would be shamed into oblivion for the one time I ever puked publicly at a party and I never got caught. It was my one get out of jail free card that life has granted me.
Yeah, I'll be sure to share this with those guys afterwards. But
that's perfectly fine.
One of the things you left out was that, and this is like when you're setting the stage for a story like this, when you set a good foreground, when you're like, all right, hold on, I need to backpedal this. You had said you were like, I don't think you said, you just felt a little down in the dumps, and they pressured you into that while you were hitting it off with a young lady that was at the party, and you're starting to feel good about yourself. You didn't want to walk away, and they kept like, fine, I'll fucking do it.
Well, this is a 21-year-old story at this point, too. So, like, this might be a little more fresh in your mind, especially because you probably heard it when you were 16 years old. And I think I was 19 at the time. I was 19. I think our 35-year-old gas station manager was the one buying us all the Budweiser, which by the way, we decorated the entire living room with Budweiser boxes. There was an entire, like, upper fringe around the entire ceiling of the entire apartment, just nothing but Budweiser boxes. And it was because a 35-year-old man was buying 19-year-old kids booze to come over and party because he hated his life and his wife.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I aspired to be him one day.
Bad. I've seen it before I get into any of my stories. I've seen it happen twice, and it's pretty miraculous. Two people that I know. One was my cousin. And it was just that same bar that I was telling you many podcasts ago about Alan. It was 4 establishments that had a door in between them all. It was a bar, game room, dance club, strip club. And you could enter like Benny Hill in and out each door. But we were in the bar part, and my cousin did a shot as Goldschlager. All of us did, and he was like, "Whoa," and put his head down on the bar and puked down the front of it. Didn't get caught. Okay. And another time was at the Rendezvous. Murr was with a fellow graduate of the class of 97. It was Justin Herwig. And the reason he bought me a shot because he had I had to confront him about him touching a girl that I graduated with's rear end at the bar. And I didn't know he did it. She was like, "Oh my God, this asshole grabbed my ass. Can you go say something to him?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, you bet." And it was like, it was him. I was like, "Oh God, that guy, fuck." And yeah, he bought us a shot to apologize and was like, "Blah." No one saw it. Nobody.
That's awesome. Right between the bar and the chair too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's right. Oh. Microsoft's giving me something, getting free stuff.
PC, bro.
Getting some free stuff. Yeah, Alan, I mean, I can remember a couple times having to like exit stage left at a party after doing some shots.
I've definitely done the whole like head down on the bar thing after a shot. At least twice that I can think of. And gotten away with it. That was just perfect. It was just it was literally the shot that just went down.
Right.
That came right back up. You know what I mean? So it's no harm, no foul, I think. There's equal amounts of liquor on the floor just cause. So that's okay. And then I think the one that I remember the most is actually at bid party when we got our bids the night.
For those of you who don't know, Murray, you may not know, when you get a bid, that means you have been awarded access to become a pledge.
You're allowed to get your head kicked in for 9 months or 9 weeks or whatever it fucking is.
How long was the process, Alan?
Mine was 9 weeks.
9 weeks.
God, that's long. Mine was 7.5.
Yeah.
Now, like, what did the 9 weeks consist of?
Oh man, we could go.
We can't tell. We can't tell.
Oh, I'm sorry, Wes. That's been graduated from college for what, 15 years at least?
Yeah, 15 on the dot.
Don't want to give any trade secrets away.
Someone may be watching this. I don't know.
Stuff and things. But besides the point, we did have ridiculous parties, and one of them is usually that party, which really just involves these fucking naive kids who are like, yeah, we're going to join a fraternity, just get shithoused with a bunch of bros. And that's exactly what happened. And our good friend Derek Kilby, at some point in the evening, very late in the evening, handed me a plastic bottle of Port Royal rum, which is fucking disgusting. If you've never had it, don't get it. Don't buy it. Don't buy anything in plastic bottles, quite frankly. But he handed me the bottle of Port Royal and made me fucking take a shot of it. And I did not want to take a shot of it. And exactly what I thought was going to happen happened. But it was like this weird moment in time where everyone turned away from me. And I was just like, what? Right out, boom, done, right down. And nobody saw. I looked around and no one saw it except one blue, Jack Wickham. And he was like, that shit tastes awful. Here's a cigarette. Get that taste out of your mouth. I was like, nice, thank you, and thank you for not blowing my spot up because there was like 10 people in the room. But yeah, that's the one that sticks out the most, I think.
Yeah. Here's Powers did that at Howl at the Moon, and it was weird because that's that Murph, you're not familiar. That's the dual piano jam bar.
Yeah, I ended up there one night with your brother because we couldn't get into the other place that was down the way, and yeah, it was like dueling Billy Joel.
And
the most bizarre entertainment I've ever gotten drunk to, but very whimsical and very entertaining.
You'll hear Piano Man within fucking the first half an hour.
Yeah, you'll.
Oh yeah,
you'll do. You write down what you want to hear and throw some money up there. Last time I was there, the guy did At a Medium Pace by Adam Sandler. Unbelievable.
Really?
Oh yeah. I said if you don't feel like doing this, if you feel like this is too inappropriate, you can just play this instead. And he read that and said, "Fuck that! I'm playing it."
That's
just the fact that he knew it is amazing. Did he even do the shampoo bottle section of the song?
He sang every lyric from beginning to end.
Wow.
Yeah.
At a medium pace.
It's at a steady 4/4. But anyway, it was a Friday happy hour, and Powers did a shot, and was like, there wasn't enough people around for it to be totally unnoticeable, but it was just the manner of him like standing up and not moving, just like not trying to get out of dodge or find a corner or head down on a bar like a normal human. So it's like, and then walked out and smoked a cigarette, and I looked around thinking somebody saw that.
Nobody had to see it.
No.
Yeah. No, I'm sure there are other times. Nobles, it had to happen. I vaguely remember a couple of those.
I had a pretty epic one. I was at Scores, and we were getting at shots and booze pretty good, and one just didn't sit. It just was just like, oh nope. And then again, I think Murr, when you talked about trying to hold it back, and like, just got to mitigate this saliva, mitigate this glucosey kind of roll. Oh, nope, not happening. And went there. Well, those places are classy. They have people there that let you in. They have people there who are like wash. Hey, would you like this? Would you like a mint? Would you like some Listerine? Would you like some cool water cologne? Just like a Magnum condom? No, you're not a Magnum condom. It's a regular condom. Like all and so if they hear you vomiting in a stall, they're gonna kick you out. So I had to be like, seriously,
give me a big old glass of beer, 'cause I get drunk most every day. I always seem to find myself late. Might be on as fuck, I'm still riding like a pup. I fell down, but my dick's still up. Well, sometimes I may need a hand when I'm just too drunk to stay. I don't need your sympathy, keep your judgment too. 'Cause you just give it a little pull, and my dick's strong like bull, ready to satisfy my woman whole night through. I get drunk most every day. Everyone knows Scooter is a gay. As fuck, I'm still riding like a pup. I fell down, but my dick's still up. I fell down, but my dick's still up. I fell down, but my dick's still up.